Hello, hello. Good morning. Welcome to another ES Futures trading stream. Today is Wednesday, November 5th. It is 9:22 Eastern Time in the US. Well, we got out of balance markets. Let me tell you something. I hope you have noticed. In the past couple months, the weekly opening during, meaning the opening during Sunday night, has been consistently giving us kind of like a pretty good idea of how the week is going to, how the week is going to evolve, or how the week is going to behave. Let me have this one here. I got room here in this screen. And this market had a 3-day balance down here, right? Was actually establishing a trend to the downside the daily. After this, I am paying attention to these trend lines. These are very old trend lines, right? And I was also checking Nasdaq here at the time. I was telling, okay, maybe this market is ultimately may reach this high here, which in the weekly can be, this would be 27,500. Yeah, 27,500, or at least 27 100, 200, something like that. But Nasdaq in particular is trading in this channel. You have this channel in Nasdaq, very consistent highs here, very consistent lows here, and this market was breaking out of this trend here. Right, it did it. It came back. It was pulled back inside. Now it remains to be seen now if this one is going to reach this. Let me extend this one to the right. This could be the potential destination, 24,700 down here. What do we have there? I don't know. I don't follow Nasdaq, but I know if I'm going to use, if I check the ES down here, this is the weekly again, down here, this market has looked above this range, and now the market being pulled back. We still have 3 more days to go to see if this market is going to close above this range or inside this range. If it closes inside this range, the opposite side, this go no go level become the potential or the ultimate destination of this movement. But first, it has to deal with several things in here. If I keep zooming in here, we still have a gap, right? The upper gap has been closed by a tick, right? I was closed by a tick here. So, and the gap low, remember the overnight does not fill the gap. The gap low here, all right, I am checking this gap low here. This is the first time in I don't remember how long that this market has this kind of selling tail up here, because usually it's the opposite. Well, there's a big buying tail and the market more likely, mostly closing above, at least unchanged. It's the first time in a while that I see this kind of behavior here. And down here, where I have this 67, 65, that is, this 67, 65 is 56. 56? What is that? 65, 56, 56. That is this high here. This is September high. And let me correct that. That's my activate, draw, edit properties. Yeah. Oh, no. My bad. I am paying attention to this high there, which is 65. That I have that in my market profile chart. But this red here, this area here, how can make how can make wider? I don't know how to do that. Alright, well. Okay, this level here is this support resistance here that I have in my profile, in my market profile, which is the area in which the market before, like 2, 3 weeks, 3, 4, why I don't know how many weeks before, has made a strong case for a support resistance level. That's why I have it highlighted here. I'm not trying to catch a knife here, but I am aware of this thing. And down below here, right, if this level is taken during this week, the next one where I saw the last time where I saw the market making really a heavy stand was in this area here, which is the 6700. Okay, that's a 100 from this from the current levels where it is now. It's for the ES is actually when it is in correction mode, it's not that much really. It really is not that much. Okay, and I haven't talked about this is really important. I think today can be a different day relative to yesterday and before yesterday. Okay, now we have an opening. This, oh boy, this, okay. This low is absolutely horrendous low here. This is extremely weak. Now, the market has to deal. I feel like this market has to deal first with, I don't know. I mean, just, let's see how this market, I will give some time to this market to settle. 68, 1. Line 6801. Right there. Oh. So the high no go. Really. Look what we have below. Well, look at where this market is now. It's in this area, it's empty area. You know, sometimes these markets like to come to these voids, right, and feel it, right? Feel it, form another range, and then after that we may have another leg to the downside or a retracement back into the upper range. Actually, I don't like this up here. Oh, before I change this, just look at the volume we are having now. Look at the volume here, really low, relative to this, to the past 3-4 days. Now, how the markets are doing. Gold is in correction mode, probably aiming to the 50s. A good rally in gold. Channel now on gold. Bonds are rallying as well. You have channel, the lower edge of that channel for both of them. Currently, the intra, well, look at this break in the bond market. Big break I have. As taken yesterday and Monday as well. This is okay. This market is now in sync. with the equities now. Huh, that's not good. But everybody knows that now. When everybody knows, when everybody can see, that there is no divergency now I have confirmation, right? That's what many people trade that way, right? I have confirmation now. Now when you have confirmation, usually it's already late. It's too late. Okay. Now, this is something I was checking yesterday. There was really nice opportunities Monday and Tuesday. I don't think. And this is why I'm doing this today. I think there can be some change today. The market may need some sort of rebalancing here, or sideways trading. Who knows? Or at least maybe another way to put this would be the opportunities may not come early in the session today. This area, I don't know if you can see this in the stream. Yeah, it is there. Let me put it in this side. I guess you got, yeah, that would be better. These are the daily profiles. I don't care about the volume in particular here, but this day here was absolutely the highest day volume wise of maybe the past 2 months. Right? So this area could potentially be some sort of support resistance here. Now this low is being corrected, but notice what I'm checking here. We have long liquidation, short covering. It's going back and forth now. Everybody knows the market is breaking now. We have tiny little excess here, but 4 wide here. That is why I got this 4 wide non-excess low, which now is being corrected. All right, we have the gap pretty close to be closed now. In the upper side, notice what you have here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 highs right there. This high is back to back. This one is also, man, but don't. I am not ready to die for by that statement, okay? Because I need to focus on what the market is doing. Oh, come on, man. I don't understand. There you go. Right. Line width 2, 3. Let's do it 3. Okay. Color red here. Okay. These are references the market is leaving behind here. Okay. This gap is now what I am looking or watching here, I should say, instead of looking. I am watching this market. What the market does relative to this area here. When these markets find or get close to this support resistance areas, usually it takes several attempts to reach those levels, or or before they can be, or before the market goes through those ones, right? And some sort of bounce is also possible after that. This is something I am watching carefully here. After what we had yesterday, and I remember this action here, what happened here. I hope you didn't. There were some opportunities here yesterday. For once, especially before yesterday, the inventory was really short. Man, The overnight was kind of was like a 300 hundreds to the downside this day. And also the market keeps going, working its way the same way. The next day are limited, really limited. Mm-hmm. And most of what I've seen yesterday was rebalancing of the short inventory, you know, first. And now, relative to yesterday, we keep having these situations, right, in which the overnight inventory is not lining up with the regular trade, with the daily, you know. The Globus is not aligned with the daily inventory, the situation, the daily inventory. Because what I see here from yesterday is tremendous amount of shorts here in the lower side, right? Pushing this market lower without success, really. Right? No success here. So this is a potential trap here. We may see something here to the upside here, actually. And the overnight, actually, the overnight inventory is mixed here. If this is saddle, where this high is right now, this is saddle. We have saddle here. Notice what's happening with this inventory, right? This looks like short covering, actually. This looks like short covering here. But it's a rebalancing of all this action that happened after the market close, considering the last part of the inventory, last accumulation that we have yesterday. So that's why I say that today the opportunities may not be that clear. Potentially, I don't know what's happening with my. I don't know why these guys go to the left, man. Gosh. Well, this can be an area to which the market may attempt to reach today. If this is a big if this doesn't happen, right? If this doesn't happen, got to be alert here. Okay. And look at where the market is also right now at this, as we speak, where this market is. Line. $6,800. So the market has to deal with these things first, right? Overnight inventory, late yesterday's inventory settled, and the 6,800 being right there. On top of that, we have a gap close. We have this these are very visible. Everybody can see these references, right? The ones that I'm talking, which is the ones that you need more like a further or deeper look at this 6770. I will call the 6770 if I'm going to call it. It's actually a little area, not much like a tick. And particularly, I have seen many times now that markets bouncing, at least temporary short bounce after they reach this key levels, right? This to the tick 6756, for example. I'm not saying that is going to happen. I am just aware here. I am not that kind of trader that is waiting with the limit order to be filled here. Yesterday, for example, if you have some sort of at least understanding of what's going on yesterday, you got this clearly fail. market attempting to continue the overnight trade, which was extremely short. And after that, short covering started to happen. And when the market gets to this area, just in B, for example, just in the tempo, again, if you can replay, if your solver has, I guess most solvers now have replays, just play this period, right? Or play these 2 periods. You can play these 3, it would be nice. And you can see there how different is the pace or tempo or whatever at which the market moves here in A, then in B, then in C. This is when the market starts to die on the upper side. I just have a regular trading hours here. These histograms are just regular trading hours. I don't care about the overnight. It was taking too much space in my charts. So the same goes for Nasdaq. Look at what we have at the closing. I wasn't here in the closing. I don't know how this happened, but this is catching my attention, right? When the market tries to go higher. I don't know if this tried to go higher or it just break from these levels. Having this amount of whites on the top is something I don't like. Alright? Really, I don't. Regarding the indices, how are they? We don't have earnings, we don't have nothing. We have non-farm payrolls. I don't know if that number is going to be out. Nasdaq is just below. That can be, or maybe. Oh, let me bring this back. This charts back. This is something that I am carrying from the overnight, right? From previous day overnight. Look at this, man. Look at this. Look at this. Can you see something here? This is the years. Can you see this? Can you see this? If this, gosh, this is really bad for, or at least it's not good for any kind of shorts here, because the upside, the risk now is increased. It's very high for the shorts. Really, it's very high for the shorts. This market can go all the way back to this range, or at least to the center of this gap here. Look at what we have here. Stops, more stops here, 5 character potential here, more stops gathered here, 5 character potential, all of this overnight here. Got to be very careful. Also, the Dow here has repaired that. The Dow is, I guess, the weakest index right now. The potential up there is also present for Russell here. It looks like short covering actually, which may actually extend this a little bit to the downside. The opening today, if you were here in these markets, now that everybody knows that this market is cracking, right? Is falling, is free falling. You will find a lot of people saying that, right? Which I think is not accurate. You will feel the difference between the pace or tempo at which this market is moving now and or relative to what happened yesterday. It's a very quiet, very kind of like sluggish opening we have here. It opened inside, as checked below, and now the potential can actually be the opposite side of yesterday's range. Okay, after what happened yesterday and after what happened before yesterday, trying to make or put those thoughts in your brain can be hard, right? It can be really hard for many people to do that. This can be maybe a market in which I would rather, who knows, maybe buy the dips, but don't know yet. I don't know. I am just making up things here. If you have any questions or comments, just please let me know. All right, my Nasdaq is chewing into this whites here, and look what we have up here. Okay. Still is a market to the downside. Let's see how value moves here. The 26,000 seems to be the reference to watch in Nasdaq.
Order filled.
Let's see if this market can take these two highs, for example. If these two highs are taken, there can be some. Want to see if there is some upside acceleration towards these highs here.
Order filled.
Look at what the ES is doing. All right. Now, for the ES, I will watch this. Uh-oh. Now, this is happening live, right? I'll watch this one here. We still have 10 more minutes here. I think there's plenty of time for this, for NASA to take these highs here and these three here as well. That seems to be what this market is doing now. There's a lot of inventory here. There's a lot of inventory in this area for both of them. Lots of stops here. And there is that's something else here. Right? That's something else that's happening here in these markets. Something that I've noticed here. Now, remember, these markets are still to the downside. Okay, so traders, at least the laggards, will be selling rallies now. Right? Selling rallies without realizing, and this is the danger that comes with the laggards. Laggards not always lose, right? But they take the trades at the latest stages. This is no good for the shorts, man. This is not good. Really, really bad here. And if you have not taken a trade here, at least we need to know, we need to have an appreciation of what is the risk for each side. Right? At the beginning, I'll say, just facing, coming into this market, right? Just check what we talk about at the beginning. Both markets are in sync. That is the thing. Both markets are in sync, both looking below yesterday's range and coming back inside. And that puts the opposite side, really. That puts the opposite side as a potential destination here. All right. The first stage of this trade has been reached. Not this trade, this movement in the ES. Right? And this thing can be very annoying, man. Really. Some people, I remember times, right, when in which, man, I was buying days like yesterday, for example, right? Buying, right? God damn, man, I'm losing all day long. To find the next day doing, being a day to the upside, and finding myself selling. Right? But why? Why you do that? You know, because I have no idea what the heck I was doing. Right? Now, while I didn't know how this happened in Nasdaq, how these whites came to form here, or this one, but and this one to the downside. This was to the downside. I can see that, right? Because open up here and comes down. This is no good. I don't know, for example, if this one went higher, or it opened up high and come low. Same thing for the closing. But what is happening now? We have a lot of whites here. I don't even need to see what volume is here. We got some blocks here. But look at these blocks, man. These blocks are sales. It's interesting here. My bad, forget about that. There's no freaking blocks here. Alright. Let's see. If this market, and now a constant here in this market has been closing those distribution, but not having acceptance up there. That has been so far. That can change at any given moment, man. Up close. I got a small trade. I got Nasdaq when was getting just about the 2600. I closed that. There's potential here, but you know, yes, I may re-enter here. Now this is again, this is the potential. Okay, look at this. Okay, this is held back here. Man, this is not good. This is terrible for any kind of shorts here. This is really bad for any kind of shorts here. look at how it moves, man. You know, and this is the thing about market dynamics, right? We got to be ready, or have to be able, or have to learn, and this is a skill for traders. We have to learn to forget, right? to move on after a day, whatever the result or whatever kind of day that was. It can be a bad day, it can be a good day. You have to forget about that. You have to be able to forget the last trade. To move on, man. Move on. This high is no good. This may actually target this opposite side. Now value is inside. All markets are in sync. I mean, moving higher. Back inside previous day range. You know, the relevance of these levels down here is really important. Huh? Just check it out. These lows have been corrected. Market is not getting close to this support resistance. But this support, if you check, and let me show it again. This is the relevance by having a broader view. Oh, my bad. Having a broader view. Other things happening. You know, this support. And look at when this is coming from. October 8. 1 month behind. 1 month before. Now we have a weekly low up here. This is not a reference anymore. Something that for both markets, okay, and this happened in the overnight. For both markets, this low here, you know, very close to this specific reference, September high, and the gap low here. That is something that I am watching. What was that? Do we have any announcement today? Wednesday at 9:45 PMI, 10 we have ISM. Probably that, you know. It can be an opportunity to get back in here. No, but look at these whites here. It's actually a good number, no?
Order filled. Order filled.
I have to collect a loss here. What do we have here? Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 highs here. This area here. All right. It's a lot of whites here, man. It's a lot of whites. It just dries here, man. Oh, this is the thing that I'm talking about.
Order filled.
This market just look close this distribution, look just a little bit inside, and then that's usually, or that was the high. Say again, that was before.
Order filled.
This one may come maybe to half back, towards this little dot here. What's that? Yeah, that's actually overnight high. That is the 600. Huh. Unbelievable. There's a lot of push here. There can be a resolution here to the downside, or look or to the upside. Any of those can work here. It can be a big drop here or some sluggish upside here. It looks like I don't know what's going on. I got a long here. This I'm ready to close that again. I may have re-entered too soon here. Maybe the 2600 is where this could be a good area to reposition, to retake that, to take another trade here.
Stop filled. Stop filled.
This is working. If this market doesn't have a spike here, meaning a quick upside, right? After this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 highs are taken, it doesn't have high or quick upside here. It can go actually. It can go further high here. Mm-hmm. Now let me remove these areas here. Let me remove this one. This was just a reference to where this market could be aiming at. You know, again, traders are used to sell or to go against this closing the distributions, the market closing the distribution, just closing for a couple of ticks, and then boom, the movement goes the other way around. That was the how can I say, that was the tone of this behavior, right? Once traders figure that out, everybody start doing that, and you know, again, when everybody knows what the market is doing, watch out. I don't hold this position anymore. So some quick movements, man. All right, I will go back to ES here. But look at the whites here. Look at the whites here. Whites here. There is no reds coming. Look at the red. I don't know if you can see it. Maybe it's too small for you. For you. But whites here. These whites were not good for the shorts. These whites are not good for the longs. Te he prometido que te de olvidar. ¿Cuántos querido? Bigs 18. I am flat here. I don't have anything. Now, this is something else here. This is something that traders do a lot as well. I'm going to move this reference that I have here to closing of this little distribution that I got here. Remember, I want to say why you call it distribution, because I don't see anything. If you check a profile, for example, if you check the profile, wait a minute, so there's no distribution here. Right? What I am checking is the day after A, right? A or A and B, because that I consider that's a reaction to the overnight excessively short inventory. The A and B were rebalancing, and what happened afterwards, right? We have this distribution in the upper side, this distribution here, and this one down here. This one down here. All right. We have terrible lows. Let me close this overnight. I have terrible lows here that were repaired. Consistently, I don't think so. This is, technically it's good, all right? But this little one here, this little distribution here, all right, is what I was watching. I was using as a reference. Market closing this distribution targets the opposite side, very mechanical upside. Remember, the gap was closed by one tick there, right? And something else, checking any upside continuation here. We see the market aiming to this potential firecracker effect here, the mini firecracker effect here, and most of the action coming from exactly C halfback here. Now, all of this that came after C here, all of this has been dealt with, right? Basically, for me at least, has been dealt with. Okay, that's it. Now we have value overlapping for Nasdaq, value no overlapping, value inside from Nasdaq. Same goes for the ES as well. This study is taking too much. I think this is making my charts look making it slow, man. Let's put halfback here. Let's halfback. This is halfback for ES yesterday. This is today's. And this is a dynamic reference, meaning that it changes all the time. Right? The next thing for the next thing, if there is, I call it algorithmic, right? Trade. Usually use this dynamic reference to move the markets. Maybe the next thing is moving to B low, or maybe moving this half back to this E low, for example, right? Or where this distribution is, which will put, if that's it, that is what happened, which will put the market, this halfback basically where it was yesterday. And if that happens, the high will be above this high here. That's an overlapping day. While this market was, let's go back to Nasdaq. While the Nasdaq was going higher, I didn't like this high, this upper side being completely white. Notice what's happening now. As this market retraces, right? As this market retraces, it's doing it with a lot of whites as well. So the pullback is not good. So this is overlapping. This is overtaking, right? Now this part of the profile takes over this one. And that's not good for the shorts. But the market, I mean, that's what I'm talking about here right now. That's have to be aware about the time frame of that. The time frame is a very short time frame, maybe the intraday, all right, for that. Notice, remember what's happening in the daily time frame what's happening in the weekly and monthly time frames as well. Now let's check it out. Volume. All so far look at what's happening to volume here. Right? Oh, and the key yesterday, it plays really good yesterday. The key is when change, right? Trading is about change, man. Change sneak upon you sometimes. You know, when this volume, suddenly, it was big at the opening, then kind of like goes back to where it's normal is or was relative to the previous day, and then start to decrease actually. Equal, decreases, equal, and then you can see here start going higher, and when this happened, right, the market the trade was already in progress, right? How many, that was this movement here, what happened here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The market gave you 5 periods to position yourself here. But that is trading with technicals. But that is something I don't do, right? By the time you have something here, right, the opportunity was already have to have been taken. Right? Have to notice the change, right? Change in this case was tempo. The way how this market traded here, and the way how changed up here. But I am still holding my statement that because it didn't have a spike up there above a high in Nasdaq, to take those 5 highs, I still think there are some odds there in that market, at least in Nasdaq, for some sort of upside there. The question is now that we have inside value, do these day has the characteristic of being a trending day, for example, or a rotational day. For the EAs, and I guess this is what I was going to say before. For the EAs, a lot of times, right? And this is short-term trading. Traders love these references. Value area high. You know, value area high here. Notice how this market in A goes out, comes back inside value, goes above, right? And there's some selling that starts happening just right above this. Now I want to see if there is acceptance up here or if the market keeps trading sideways here. Here the same, something similar to Nasdaq happens here. Very white, a lot of whites here. But when it comes low, it comes back. There's a pullback here. Some volume comes here. Oh, look at this. Huh. There's some differential here to the downside around the 20s. Huh. Look at that. Okay. What time is it? What time this one is? 10. Huh. So it's actually to the downside. Look at this. This market is moving higher, but there is some positioning, big positioning to the downside. And actually, a distribution pattern here. Unbelievable. A distribution here. Right? As the market goes higher, and that's selling, right? That's selling into a trend, and that's some behavior that I am checking. I'm testing this indicator that have not an indicator. This is a study that I built here. What's that? Let me show you. Now that I have this one here. I have this study here, and this is fascinating, man. You know, here what I am trying to do is relate volume above high volume, which is these reds here, for example, right? Especially after above 10,000. And look what's happening. Oh boy. Again, I don't trade based on any indicator, any study. But all I have said before is I stick to that. But I am monitoring these studies. I built this one based on delta, bid-ask delta, which in this case points to the downside, right at the 20s. Then block activity, in this case, this block activity is sell, right? But look at what the market does. Right? Shorter time frame traders, selling or buying, unaware of these things, right? And what are we having now? Another, look at down here. There's another one that came in this, just in this pullback low, right? Right to, what is this? The same, it is halfback, yeah, right to halfback. Look at where these are buying. This down here, there's a lot of volume here. Check here, down 12 here, but 2,000 up here, 1,000. Right? It is white, but the volume is different here. 2,000 relative to the period itself is low, but look at here. Oh, come on, man. What the heck? 10. This is 950. We have 1,000 here, 1,500 block. I said there's somebody here that actually traded almost 1,500 contracts. The immediate thing that I see here is some sort of this reference, actually the the ask bid differential is to the downside. I have these marks here. Each time that this happens, something there's a sequence here as well, right? To label this as distribution, something needs to happen, right? The market is in distribution mode now, but you got to see what's happening in the market. What the market is doing is actually moving higher, right, relative to the opening. But the inner work of the action, what is happening behind or the underlying is different, right? That is what these studies do, right? And I really love Sierra for that. It really allows me to do that. And let me tell you something. I have no freaking idea how to code. I don't know really. I once tried to learn coding. I just discovered that thing that's not for me. Really, it's not for me. I was using. Let me tell you how I did that. First, I used ChatGPT, but the thing about ChatGPT, at least in my case, it only allows me to make certain amount of questions, right? And ChatGPT responds and code, and it took me like about more than 100 tries to build a study that I actually don't use right now, because just after I finish, I know, yeah, my bad. I use that study that I made in ChatGPT is this one, the volume. It took me more than 100 tries, 2 or 3 weeks working on that, using ChatGPT. But I remember my son telling me that DeepSeek is way better than ChatGPT, and I agree. Actually, I agree. In like about a week, I have built what just have show you. The thing about this Oracle like apps is now we have another skill to learn. We have to learn to ask questions. That's really important now in these times. We need to learn how to ask or what questions to ask. I guess I made in using DeepSeek. I guess DeepSeek coded. I have compiled it maybe like 20 times. But from those 20, only 1 or 2, the compiler sent me an error, which is outstanding. Because with ChatGPT, I guess every other compiling had that message to me. Really good. I'm putting that out for you, just so you know. Maybe you are interested, right? I have asked if they can do some coding on Thinkorswim as well. I checked with ChatGPT, not with DeepSeek. They say that the coding for Sierra is kind of like easier, or they give you more tools to do the coding. And Thinkorswim seems to be more limited and give you lower access. Oh, cancel. I don't want to close this. But these programs might take too much because they use data, this volume in real time, and they use a lot of memory here in the computer. It keeps sending me messages, distributions way up here. This now is 3,000, this is 1,000, this now is 1,500. Got another one down below the 1,500 as well. As I said, I am just tasting that study. I'm not going to die by it. And it's unbelievable. I said at the beginning, I was thinking that maybe today the opportunity will not going to come early in the session. And as you can see, that was not the case. Oh, there is something that is sneaking here. Huh. This level here, the 68. I missed this 6810. Huh. What is that? And of course I am 30 minutes late. $68.10 is this one here. This is the breakout. This level here. This one here. Yeah, this one here. Man, I got that marked on my chart, right? But this level high comes from this one here. It's a breakout. That was a breakout trade a couple weeks ago. Right here. All right. Now I will consider. I will go ahead and consider this. There is still this is the thing here, right? I'm going to remove that. There's a good amount of inventory here that is in the short side. Checking. Checking my daily, you can see where's the daily here, this area here, right? But notice how many times this market has traded 10,000, whatever, 10,000, 20,000, the biggest one, 24 here, right? But it took like 5, 6, 7 periods or so to do it. How many periods? Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 periods, right? Trying to take this level and just failing. It's failing. That's a fail. Now this inventory is trapped here. Be ready. Got to be aware here. What the heck is going left here? I don't want you to go left, more. I want you to the right. Okay. Now I can close this. Let me close this. Standard profile. Ah, gosh, man. 22. Okay. right there. This is information I need to carry, this low here, and this overnight low here as well. This is moving slowly higher, so the potentially now the reference that this ES has taken here, I got another one of significance for Nasdaq. By the way, I have removed the bid and ask chart from Nasdaq. I don't care about that. All right, this could be this high, can be attracting the sellers, the buyers here now. I hope you have wrapped your head up around the thought that after this selling that we were witnessing the past days, the past 2-3 days, there can be some rebalancing here. Very sluggish action today. This is the opening. This is current halfback. Opening halfback. This weakness here has been dealing with this one. What I think was 50 points in Nasdaq. I don't think that's too much for Nasdaq. Buying for the 700 in Nasdaq. The differential, this is the thing, right? The differential between the bid and the ask is the ask and the bid. It's negative. Let's see if we can reach, this market can reach the 38. Hard to believe, right? This market can do that. Volume has recovered. In the second period. I wonder, I mean, this is very tricky here now. Both the overall market and the ES in particular. It started lower, maybe like 10% lower, than previous day. Now it's similar to yesterday, which means there has been an increase during the second period. I wonder now if that happened when the market was going lower, when there was this pullback was happening, or when was going back up high. Now something that happens all the time. Just check. I don't know if you can see this in the stream. Can you see it? I have to change some of the layout of my screen. That's why I wonder if you can actually see. Let me just give me a sec. Just give me a second here. What? Come on. Oh yeah. Okay. From yesterday, for example, you had firecracker potential uphill, meaning this market can actually try in the same way how the ES has challenged this distribution. Nasdaq has the same distribution up here. Really hate this. Come on, Sierra, don't give me a reason to hate you. Okay. Nasdaq has. What the heck do I move this? Alright, whatever. Nasdaq has this distribution on the upper side, so probably targeting this up here. The firecracker potential up here, or other way to say is you have stops here, you have stops here, you have stops here, all the way back, up to yesterday's high. So this market has reasons to keep going higher, right? That's one thing. What happened in the ES is now happening in Nasdaq. Another thing that I am being very careful with is you have two highs here, pretty much the same high. Three highs here, pretty much the same high. The next thing that happens many times, the market can build another high, another set of highs here. But it still remains to be seen. I am not, and that will be kind of like trying to stick myself to what happened yesterday, and I am trying to keep myself far away from that. The 20 and the 10. What is the 20? The 20 is the 20 is the low, and what is the 10? Oh, okay. These lows here are very questionable for both markets. Huh. Okay. Let me tell you. Let me do something here. Are you out of the market, for example? Think about this. Are you out of the market? Trying to get a loan, right? But but watching the market going higher, right? Thinking I should have gone long at 68. I should have gone long at overnight high. I should have gone long at yesterday's opening or whatever, right? And there's tremendous pain that can come after that. Watching just the market doing what you think it should have done when or if you were in, right? And as the higher the market moves, the bigger the urge to get in with a position to the long side. And you just can't take it. That happens to all of us at one moment in time. And the moment you take, right after you take it, the market just crashes, right? Or you got a loan. In this case, huh? You got a loan. Close it. A close position. Because you start to see that, okay, this is not developing the way my plan says it should, and I am trimming, I'm hedging, or I'm closing with a good with a good outcome, and just to see the market keep going in the direction of your trade, and the next thing you think is, boy, I want to go back in here. I should have not closed it, and you go back in the areas where you got out. Just after you get back in, the market goes against you and start to chew or take back all that you have already here. Does that sound familiar? That usually happens when we don't have a plan. We don't have a plan for entries, for exits, for stops, for monitoring the market for continuation. All right. That's not rare. I guess you can see that you cannot see the bid and ask, or the differential, not bid and ask, the differential. And I don't, again, I don't die for that, but why I have those or that chart up is to see if there is any, what is this? Not divergence, what is the opposite of divergence? Convergence between volume, big blocks, and differential. When I have those three, which I didn't have in a long time, man. Usually there's a sign of strength here, or there, when I have those three things lined up. And I say I don't pay too much attention to the differential, because bid and ask really doesn't matter, man. Bid and ask is just how many orders were there at that specific level, right? Or the differences that the orders that were at that specific level. But the key thing here is that those were just orders those were not executed. Right? What matters is what actually got purchased or bought into the market. Just that, which is what I can see here. The volume I have here, volume I have here, volume I have here. Now it gives them a pretty good idea, right? If we start moving higher, okay, so these are probably participants that are willing to take a long position. That's what it tells me, right? And the blocks here is highlights actually something that bigger time frame or bigger participants, because remember the S&Ps and the ESs and index, right? The 500 most valuable companies that are there in the exchange. And it has only one contract. It's tremendous amount of volume. I mean, the money that is worth, right? Tremendous amount of money is only one, right? And willing to bet or to take a position into some, huge amount, like 1,000 contracts. I guess how much is worth? It's 250 times 6,000. Let's call it 7,000, right? 250 times 7, how much it is? Over 2 millions or 20 millions. All right, let me see. 7,000 times 250. Let's see, 7 por 2, 14, let's call it 23, 4, 5 zeros. Yeah, 2 million, something like that. Per contract, right? So this is heavy institutional participation here in this market. And there are another indices that are linked to this, right? You have the SPY, you have the SPX, you have, I don't know the names, right? That track this index. And all those ones, if I want to trade those ETFs, I have to keep a really close look to what is happening in the ES actually, because what happens, for example, in the SPY, is not going to affect the ES. It's the other way around, right? It's the other way around. This is interesting what's going on here. Now, markets are out of balance, right? Or were out of balance. It depends what time frame you are checking, right? If you are checking the intraday, the market is back in balance. But if I check the daily, the market is out of balance. If I check the weekly, it's also out of balance. There's some change that's going on those time frames. Right? We have got to be very aware of those things. Now, and this is something the markets usually do, right? When the markets have a trend established, in this case we have short-term trend to the downside. The daily is trending lower. We have a weak low here, a weak low down here. This was hardback at the time. Now you can see hardback has moved a little bit higher, right? And if this keeps moving higher, this will keep going higher. And everybody will forget about this low. This low is not good, it's coming exactly from hardback here. Now we have this big mark right here where below is. This one, my bad. This 6820. There is the heavy selling happened here. Big blocks here happen here. And also happen at the 68, which is this B low here. C low, B low, those are the weakest point. The how can I say this? The data, right? Is showing one thing, but the price action is showing another thing. Gotta be very careful here now. Very careful. I don't know if we want to see we can see some rotation. Alright. Unless you have any questions, man, I'm going to call it a day here. Wow, 1 hour and a half. Check out this. Check out this beauty. Check out this beauty. How this market just comes back and doesn't touch this red, right? And it doesn't touch the reds. Don't dare to touch this one. But the difference, right? The first period, you had 8,000 here as a maximum, almost 10,000 here, almost. You got 10,000 here, which is big volume. You know, just 3 contracts, 300. I'm not calling. Otherwise, it will be marking it with this red, these orange things, right? That line up with this big volume and line up with a big delta as well, a big differential as well. So there could be something here actually, right at what the market is right now. I don't know yet what direction here. Right? Alright guys, I'm calling it a day. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Stay safe and trade well. Bye bye.